Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shri Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our expert as well as onto the Buy Now, Sell Now lens today. We're going to be focusing on the IT space. But before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So Cheryl, given the weak handover from the global markets, I guess the kind of a move that we are seeing on both the benchmark indices is a bit surprising.
Absolutely, a very good morning to you, Shri. But yes, it's surprising. But if you had tracked the GIFT Nifty indication this morning, you wouldn't be surprised because that indicated that we will be in at least for a positive start, bucking the overall weakness that we're seeing in the global markets. Remember that yesterday you had the FOMC minutes also that came out, and that basically indicated that the policy will remain restrictive for some time right now, and the rate cuts they're only seeing happening towards the end of 2024. That did not enthuse the Wall Street. You saw S&P 500, Nasdaq actually fall for a second consecutive session. Dow also actually gave in when you talk of the global markets. But yes, the picture right here is bright and is shining pretty bright with 0.5% uptick coming in for both the benchmark indices. Nifty Bank moving in tandem with the benchmark indices, and advanced decline ratio very much tilted in the favor of the gainers as we speak. And broader markets have always been gaining actually. Let's talk about the list of gainers and the losers in trade today. So you have NTPC, Bajaj Finance, IndusInd, ONGC that are actually gaining in trade. Remember, Bajaj Finance, IndusInd are actually also moving given the fact that they've come out with their Q3 operational performance as well. While on the flip side is the OMC pack that is weak, be it BPCL, HPCL or IOC. So BPCL is the top loser on the Nifty. 1.5% downtick coming in for BPCL. Remember that you have CLSA that's come out with a note where they've downgraded these counters. So therefore, that's the impact that's coming in on the OMCs today. You have LTI Mindtree, HCL Tech, TCS that are actually declining in trade. We will tell you more about the IT sector in our BNSN lens. But let's talk about the sectoral indices then. All the sectors so far are in the positive territory, barring the IT index, which is mildly in the negative territory. But that's something that you can ignore given the fact that hopefully it does not actually go down further on from these levels. But realty index, 5% uptick coming in for realty index, 5% uptick. 5.4% to be very precise, as well as PSU sector, all of them seeing strong gains. But yes, realty index 5% uptake actually, but we are not talking about realty today, Shri, are we?
No, absolutely. But we are talking about the IT space today because this has been in focus. For the past couple of days, IT stocks were seen to be drifting lower, and actually a slew of brokerages are keeping the IT sector on radar. What is their stance on the individual stocks? Are there any upgrades or downgrades that are coming in as of now? Let's go across to Anisha to get all these details. Take it away, Anisha.
Oh, well, yes, IT sector clearly has the street divided. A lot of upgrades as well as downgrades coming in within the sector itself as well. There are very, stock-specific bets that the analysts are taking. So let me run you through the key ones at that. JP Morgan has actually come out with a fresh note. They've upgraded TCS and HCL Tech to a neutral now, and they've hiked the target price quite substantially as well. For instance, for TCS, it's all the way up to 3,700 versus 2,900 that they had done earlier. It's also a bit of a catch-up to the kind of stock price move that we have seen, but nonetheless, a change in the stance happening. Infosys as well as L&T Tech are the couple of stocks that have actually increased and upgraded their stance to an overweight, and the target prices too have been substantially increased. Take a look at L&T Tech. The target price now stands at 5,800 versus 3,200, so almost doubling of the target price on L&T Tech. There's also upgrade coming in Persistent and Emphasis. However, having said that, they're maintaining the underweight stance on Wipro, Tech Mahindra as well as LTI Mindtree. UBS also has come out with a fresh note on the same. They have hiked the target price on Infosys. They've actually upgraded it to a buy despite the kind of underperformance that we have seen from the stock. Wipro, however, seems to be a consensus downgrade coming in because UBS too has downgraded the stock, and they are now suggesting a sell on the same. We have TCS, HCL Tech that they maintain a neutral on. Tech Mahindra is something as well that they have a sell on. You also have Morgan Stanley today that has come out with notes. So clearly IT on the radar of a lot of brokerage houses. There they have downgraded HCL Tech and LTI Mindtree purely because these two stocks have run up substantially. They have maintained the overweight on Infosys and Cyient, a bit of a price uptick coming in there. And as far as the others are concerned, the likes of TCS, Emphasis, even the others, they are maintaining their call, a bit of tweak happening in the target price. But the broad call seems to be coming in that this quarter is going to be weak, so don't expect too much. But it's about FY FY25 going forward and the kind of consensus changes that are happening on the estimates there. For instance, for Infosys, because the base is low, there could be a higher jump in FY25, and that's what the street is factoring in, because valuation wise, they're not very, very cheap, but nonetheless, there is some room available clearly.
All right, thank you so much for that. Actually, Anisha, and rightly says, slew of actually brokerage notes coming in on IT sector. Let's actually put the spotlight on IT and ask our experts which side of the fence are they when it comes to the IT sector in particular, and which are their top bets in that particular space. Today we have Saurabh Jain joining us on the fundamentals, while on technicals we have Kunal Bothra as always. A very good morning to both of you. Good morning, Kunal, and good morning as well as Happy New Year to you, Saurabh. We were actually meeting after a while, a long gap on buy now, sell now, and looks like after a while you have a lot of brokerages that are actually upgrading certain IT sector counters as well. No doubt JP Morgan in their note very particularly have mentioned that they've been underweight on the sector over the last 18 months on the revenue growth as the revenue growth had declined, but that sort of a call has gone against them over the last 6 months, the way how the IT sector has actually performed. Have you changed your call when it comes to the IT space, or are you still maintaining or hold your stance?
Hi, good morning. Happy New Year. See, we started gradually recommending IT stocks largely from the large cap space. The top pick from our side is HCL Tech in the TCS. We believe 2024 will be a good year for the IT sector in the sense that we saw 2023 unfolding with large and mega deals, and we expect this trend to continue in 2024. See, many of the Indian IT companies, be it HCL, Infosys, TCS, able to garner larger deals, more than 100 million bucket in the deals. So we expect that AI will continue, will take more traction. SaaS and industry as a service. We feel these both the spaces are have started to stabilize and will gain momentum in 2024. While discretionary spending will be on the muted side, hiring will be on the muted side, but we feel that the overall pace in the AI generative will catch momentum, and these companies will gradually transfer their order book to the bill. So we have started recommending IT and gradually have started building position in the IT sector.
Okay, so that's the take on the fundamental side for the IT space. But Kunal, anything that's standing out on the technical front as well? Because we will be just getting into the earnings season, and definitely the flag bearer would be the IT companies. And for the past couple of days, we have seen these stocks drifting lower. But now, do you believe that there is some good opportunity to enter into the IT company?
Well, I strongly believe so. In fact, my sense is that many of these large cap IT stocks have started to look very attractive, whether it's the likes of TCS, Infosys, Wipro. I think specifically these names have started to come back into their breakout modes, and then a mild retracement over the last 3 or 4 days, what you've seen for these large cap IT names. And even the mid cap IT stocks have managed to do pretty well for themselves. Many of these stocks have confirmed breakouts of their 2021-22 highs for themselves, like Birlasoft, etc. Some, we've been bullish on a few of the stocks from the mid-cap IT names. So I would continue to have that bullish stance for the mid-cap as well as the large-cap IT names. And I believe that this opportunity of a dip or a correction should be a good buying opportunity for a medium to long-term investor.
All right, so that's the take coming in from Kunal when it comes to the IT pack in particular. But viewers, remember ET Now and ET Now Swadesh, in line with helping Indians rise with India, have partnered with Sundaram Mutual to launch Nivesh Day, which is a groundbreaking campaign to help viewers build their personal finance portfolios through regular and disciplined investing. Nivesh Day is being celebrated on the 5th of every month. So join ET Now Swadesh as well as Sundaram Mutual to learn how you can build your financial future with an SIP in mutual funds.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. As we come right back, it's time to take all your stock-related queries. So stay tuned and start writing to us.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related query. Let me just quickly actually mark the flash on the bottom of your screen, because you have Indigo that has now announced that they are going ahead and they will be withdrawing the fuel charge effective Jan 4th, that is effective today. Remember that they are saying that they're withdrawing the charges on the recent drop on back of the recent drop in the ATF prices. They had actually introduced the fuel surcharge in October or so. This in response to the rise in the ATF prices, but now they've withdrawn that, is what Indigo has actually informed the exchanges. From effective today, they have withdrawn that fuel surcharge that they had actually applied on their domestic as well as international routes. But let's move on then, and like I said, this is a show where we get you answers for all of your stock related queries. Today we have our experts, Saurabh Jain as well as Kunal Bothra. And viewers, you can write to us on the WhatsApp number that's flashing on your screen. So let's take the first query that has hit the box, and this one is coming from Vinod. He's writing to us from Gurgaon, and he's a long-term investor. He already has 2,500 shares of Refx Cotton at a price of 146. IDFC First Bank 2,500 shares at a price of 53 rupees per share. Should he stay put with these counters, Saurabh, or what sort of a take should he take when it comes to Refx Cotton as well as IDFC First Bank?
See, outlook for both these companies is quite fine. I mean, if you look at the operational numbers, there is a significant kind of improvement in the profitability of the IDFC bank. The high cost deposits have been shed by the lower cost of deposits, and the bank is gaining a good amount of traction. In case of Greaves Cotton, the order book looks good, and the margins are also on the rise. So we expect that both the profitability of both the companies will rise going forward in 2024. And if you want to hold for long term, you can definitely hold on.
All right, moving on to the next question. And Kunal, this one is coming from Mayank Saraf from Delhi, and he's holding shares of Genus Power, 5,000 in quantity from a price of 250 rupees. He wants to continue this investment for the next 2 years. What will be your advice?
I think you continue to hold on. The stock has just crossed about a bullish flag formation on the weekly charts, about the breakout of 255 specifically. So I think it's a good chart shaping up quite well. You should continue to hold on.
All right, let's move on then. And the next query is coming to us from Venkat Ramani. He's writing to us from Bangalore, and he wants to know which pharma stock looks attractive right now to buy at the present rate for a period of 1 to 2 years. Since his time horizon is just 1 to 2 years, Kunal, let me take this to you then. Which pharma counter do you think is attractive for him to buy for this short period?
Well, if you are looking at a slight high risk kind of a play from the pharma pack, then I think you can consider Biocon at current levels of 280 plus, where it's trading right now. Granules is the other stock which has been looking attractive about the 400 mark. That's another mid cap into the pharma stock which you can consider buying at current levels. And if you want to stick to large cap names, I would recommend Lupin as well as Cipla even at current levels.
All right, the next query that I have, Saurabh, is coming in on Bata India. Vijay from Bangalore is holding 1,000 shares at a price of 1,708 rupees. Though he's at a loss right now, but any hopes that he will recover in this particular counter and earn returns as well?
Usually earnings in the third and fourth quarter usually comes good for the companies like Bata, because in the winter season, they make more money, the revenues increase. So I expect December quarter earnings will definitely improve from the prior quarter, and the year on year also we will see some kind of improvement. So in my sense, I think it is a clear hold.
Let me take this query coming in from our viewer, Gajanan. He's writing to us from Twitter, and he's been writing to us for a while. But Gajanan, taking your query today then. And this one is for you, Kunal. He wants to know about TVS Holdings. He's already bought it at a price of 5,600 rupees per share. He wants to know about 3 years. So let me take this to Saurabh instead. TVS Holdings, he's bought it at the price of 5,600 rupees per share. He wants to hold this counter for the next 3 years. Do you think it makes sense to add some more at current levels? If no, is there any other alternative given the fact that he's already making hefty profit in this one? Saurabh, what's your take on that? And also he wants to invest for the long term in a mid-cap IT company. So in that he has 3 companies that he's looking at. One is LTTS, Persistent or Oracle. Which one do you think makes a cut?
To take some money off the table. After all, it is a holding company. So I would rather recommend take maybe 40-50% from the table. And with respect to the mid-cap company ideas, there is one mid-cap company that we like is Zensa Technology. After the change in the management, the new MD which have come from the private equity background is making this company more profitable, and they are actually looking at the profitable areas, reduce the outsourcing and all. So outlook for these companies, Ensar, looks good to me. I think you can have this in your portfolio.
All right. The next query is specifically for you, Kunal. This one is from Kiran from Pune and wants a 3 to 6 months target on two stocks. Firstly is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, where he bought these shares at a price of 58 rupees, and he also has Utkarsh Bank bought at a price of 52 rupees. Will these counters show any move in the next 3 to 6 months, or rather he should make a shift to AB Capital or stock like RBL?
I think you can stick to both of these charts as they are showing some signs of a breakout for themselves, Utkarsh as well as Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So I think you can consider holding on to the stocks, let the breakouts play out, let the trends play out for these names, and then probably you could probably get better switching ideas if you have to once you exit them in profits.
All right, this one is coming from Karthik, who's writing to us from Chennai. He wants to know about Refx Industries. I'm unsure if you track this one, Saurabh. And the other one is SKM Eggs Products. Do you think that these counters are worth investing in for the long term?
I won't be able to comment, not in coverage.
All right, Kunal, I don't know about Refx, but SKM Eggs, have you tracked this one by any chance?
Not really sure.
All right, so I'll skip this query. Let me take the next one then. And this one is coming in from Namita Singh from Siliguri, and she's given a couple of stock. But Kunal, let me talk about two of the auto pack names that she has. One is Maruti. She's bought at 10,300 rupees, whether she should stay put with this one or exit. And the other one is Ashok Leyland, bought at 173 rupees per share. I believe both of these counters, buy price is a tad bit elevated when you come to the near term, actually, share price movement. But what sort of a strategy should she have for the next 1 year?
See, you can continue to hold on, but I'm not sure whether these stocks will probably give any kind of a breakout trigger over the very near term, because the charts for them are a lot more range bound towards a bit less participating in the uptrend for the entire auto pack. Because when you try and compare this with the two-wheeler pack like Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCorp, or Eicher Motor has done, or even the four-wheeler names like Tata Motors, etc., M&M, which have done exceptionally well over the last 2 years, these stocks have definitely underperformed. So I'm not sure that over the next couple of months, if there is any kind of a trigger which plays out for the stock, only then you could probably expect these stocks to get into a strong range of a breakout. But I think other than that, I would probably expect these stocks to be remaining to an underperforming zone over the near term. But since we have a time frame of 1 year, there could be a possibility that maybe sooner or later these stocks may play a catch up with the rest of the sector.
All right, the next query is specifically for you, Kunal. Sunny wants to have your take on UPL. He has these shares from a price of 593 rupees. What will be the outlook on this one?
See, you can hold on to the stock. The only good part about the chart is it's forming a sort of an inverted head and shoulder pattern at the on the daily time frame. The breakout is of course some distance away. 605, 610 is the breakout range for UPL. So you may probably wait for that anticipation. In case if the stock happens to give that kind of a breakout above 605, 10 mark, then I believe you could probably see a strong surge, maybe even a 650, 660 level for UPL could be seen above those levels.
All right, Saurabh, this one is for you, coming in from Sunil G, and he wants to know about GMM Pfaudler. He wants to buy for the medium term, and he wants to know if current price is a good price to enter for a duration of 3 years. Kunal, he actually wants your view, but let me take both of your views. First, Saurabh, GMM Pfaudler, do you think now it's a good time to enter a counter like this to make good gains for the next 3 years? Fundamentals are strong?
See, on the valuation front, the stock looks clearly expensive to me. And if you look at the last 2-3 years, the stock has underperformed. Previously, also we saw some kind of a selling from the promoter group also. So I don't feel like this stock can be outperformed. But yes, the company is good, but this is a type of avoid.
All right, Kunal, your take. Do you concur with the view that Saurabh has when it comes to the valuations, or do you think on the charts you have some other indications?
I think on the charts, the only good part is that the stock has come back towards a major support. So I think the 2020-21 support for the stock is closer to 1430, 1450 mark on the longer term basis. And the stock, I think very recently managed to bounce off from those levels. So I believe it could be a good price level territory to go long into the stock.
All right, Kunal, the next query is on Hind Copper. MSV Raghavan from Chennai wants to know that at this point in time, can he go ahead and buy this stock? He can hold it for the next 1 year.
It's a bit too steep in terms of the entry point for Hindustan Copper. You have to wait out for a phase of correction like what we saw in the last 3 or 4 days when the stock corrected from 277 to 260 approximately. That's a good 15-20 point correction which you should try and take advantage of. I would not suggest a buy at current levels because the stock is in very high degree of momentum and the indicators could be a slight bit overbought and the risk reward may not be attractive. Wait out for a correction and then look to enter.
All right. Saurabh, this one is coming from Thomas George. He's writing to us from Kochi and he wants to know about India Glycol and he wants to know if it's a good bet, a good long-term bet in particular, and does it make sense to buy this at the current market price?
See, the company is on the expansion spree, and the alcohol business is doing well. The company has positioned its brand in a premium category. Besides that, on the valuation front, it is again looking expensive to me because of the kind of rally we saw in the mid cap and small cap stock. At these prices, I think it should be avoided.
Okay, so that's the take coming in on India Glycols. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. And Saurabh, coming to you for the next query. This one is coming from Anil Kumar Bhalla, and he wants your take on two counters from the PSU space. Firstly, he's holding PNB 20,000 in quantity from a price of 52 rupees, and he also has 20,000 shares of NHPC from a price of 55 rupees. What is the outlook in both of these stocks given the run up? Can they also give more returns in the times ahead and be multi-bagger for him?
First of all, banking as a space for 2024 is looking good to me. PSU banks is a very good space. I think it can give phenomenal return broadly. It will outperform the broader market. This is what our expectation is. Among the PSU bank, PNB is not our favorite, but clearly, if you look at the numbers, there is a good amount of improvement in the numbers. The bank balance sheet is quite big, and the NPA situation is improving. So in that sense, I expect if you want to hold for long term, you can hold on to it. With respect to the NHPC, I think NHPC will gain a lot of traction in the years to come. I think a lot of capacity will be added, which is under construction, and the company is gearing up for newer ventures also. I think it is a good bet for the long term. So both the stocks are hold from me.
Stay with the PSU pack then, and this one is coming for you, Kunal. Shrikant from Bangalore wants to know if Bank of Maharashtra is a good short-term bet given yesterday's breakout.
Well, not a very good short-term bet. Depends on your overall construct of your PSU banking part of the portfolio. I would believe Bank of Baroda is a much better, stronger bet from the PSU banking charts as of now. Of course, led by Canara Bank. That's also another stock which has confirmed a breakout. SBI is slight behind in terms of the breakout potential. The stock should ideally have been about the 660, 665 levels. So which means that there's a lag of another 3-4% odd for ICICI Bank, SBI in that aspect. But then, the likes of Central Bank and, many of the other names like Maharashtra Bank, they are lagging a bit behind in terms of their potential breakouts. So if the PSU banking rally, if for example the leaders, they lead from the front and they rally by another 5-10% higher from current levels, that's where I would believe that the mid cap end of the PSU banking stocks, they could play a catch up. So as of now, stay with the leaders, which is Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank.
All right, Kunal, the next query is from the space which is buzzing today, and that is realty space. And Kabir Bedi has bought Kalpatru Projects 350 shares from a price of 638 rupees. Just a few days ago, he entered this one and can hold it for the next 2 to 3 months. So what will be the outlook and any target price?
See, I'm not sure the rationale of picking up the stock because I think as far as I can see, it's a bit of a low volume kind of a stock and a bit erratic in terms of the price behavior. I think it makes a lot of sense to shift towards few of the other names from the realty pack, whether you can look at DLF even at current levels of 700 plus, where I would believe looks attractive. Anant Raj is something which I've been recommending. The stock at current levels. Godrej Properties has given a very strong breakout in the short-term charts. So it always makes sense to stick towards the leader stocks which have already confirmed a breakout rather than the ones which are anticipating any kind of a major breakout for themselves.
All right, I have a couple of actually short-term queries coming through. But let me take this one is coming in from Mahesh, who is a senior citizen. And he has 60 shares of Gland Pharma, which he's purchased at 953 rupees per share, 300 shares of Viatech Wabag at 354 rupees per share. He wants to know whether he should stay put with these counters or exit. And if exit, then which stocks should he go ahead and buy? What's your take, Saurabh? Gland Pharma, he's making good profits on that particular counter because his buy price is 953. As well as Viatech also is making very healthy profit because his buy price was 354. Stay put with these or exit and deploy the fund somewhere else?
I would recommend to exit to book profit from the Gland Pharma and would rather recommend him to go for Sengen. And with respect to the other stock, I expect Vatek Wabag will do good, but I think a 40-50% profit taking it would be a good idea.
All right. The next query, Kunal, is coming from Sridhar. He's holding NCC from a price of 173 rupees. He wants any exit level for this counter. He's a positional trader.
So hold on to the stock. I think if you're looking at an exit, the breakout for the stock is about 178, if I'm not wrong, on the weekly monthly closing. So I think above that breakout level is where you could probably expect the stock to move up pretty quickly on the upside. So maybe closer to 188, 189 could be a good short-term exit point or a book profit point for NCC.
All right, coming to you, Saurabh, this one's come from Peter and he wants to know, is it a value buy at current price of 134 to go ahead and enter Allied Digital for a period of about 3 years or so? What's your take?
Won't be able to comment, not in convinced.
All right, Kunal, have you tracked the charts of Allied Digitals by any chance? And for the near term also for the prospects, do you think it makes sense for Peter to go ahead and enter this counter?
So I looked at the charts. I think it's trading at 133. The recent high for the stock was around 155 or 160 mark approximately. You can consider buying the stock at current levels, but I think 120 could be a better level to buy. I think over the last 2 or 3 months, the stock has taken support twice at this 120 mark. So that could be a much better level if you're looking to add.
All right, Saurabh, the next query is coming in on Asian Granito. Sandeep from Patna has bought 300 shares at an average price of 105 rupees. Is that a hold or sell at this point in time? Though he is sitting at a loss in this one.
I think the sector in the company would continue to gain traction, the kind of activity we are seeing in the real estate. So in that sense, I think it is better to hold Asian Granite.
All right, this one is coming in from Balan, and Balan all this while was writing to us from UAE. He's just mentioned that he's back to India and he wants to know, Kunal, firstly he's wished all of us a happy new year. Happy new year to you as well, Balan. And Kunal, he has Trent, Tata Consumer and Tata Steel, where he is making profits in excess of about 20%. Now he wants to know, should he go ahead and book profits in all of these starter names and instead look to buy NMDC, Symphony and Indus Towers? Do you think this churn makes sense or should he just stay put?
So I'll just suggest one churn out of this. I think you can look to book out Trent and shift to Indus Star. I think that's a stronger correlative stock because I think Trent is going through a bit of a toppish kind of signal on the long-term charts. And Indus Star, on the other hand, is shaping up into a good breakout candidate from a medium-term perspective. So I think that could be a good switch.
All right. Saurabh, Harinder Singh from Chandigarh wants to invest rupees 2 lakhs in chemical stocks. So if you could suggest him a couple of names from this particular sector.
I think from the fertilizer space, I think we like Gujarat State Fertilizer. They have some chemical business also and the hydrogen business also they are looking forward to. So I think it can be a good bet.
All right, coming to you once again, Saurabh, this one is coming from Sagar and he wants to know about Anant Raj. He has a massive quantity from about 55 odd rupees or so. He wants to know what's your outlook on the stock, and especially when he talks about outlook, he wants to know if you have any fundamental take coming in on the growth prospects for the company or the quarterly numbers, and do you think it will perform well going ahead? I know this was one of the top bets that Kunal had when it comes to Anant Raj, but what's your take?
I think real estate activity would continue to be, would continue in 2024 the way we saw in 2023. I think all the real estate companies will do, particularly Anant Raj will also do well. But you have to keep in mind that these prices are actually reflecting the 2024 and even 2025 earning optimism in the prices. So you have to, rebalance your portfolio. In that sense, I think if you have invested at 50 rupees and today the stock is at 300, it is better to trim down your position.
Okay, moving on. And Kunal, what's your take coming in on Ashok Leyland? Shrinu has bought these shares at a price of 180 rupees. He's having around 5% profit. Any stop loss which he can keep at this point?
I think if you're making 5% profit on Ashok Leyland, it's a good strategy to book out profits. I've always believe that the stock lacks that momentum and the punch to try and break past about resistances, start strong long-term uptrends. And like what I mentioned earlier for Ashok Leyland and Maruti, both of these stocks, they have been underperformers with respect to most of the other peers for themselves. So I would believe that if you're making a short-term profit over here and you have that kind of an outlook, it's always good to take out profits from these kind of names.
All right, this one is coming in from Anubhav, and he wants a long-term outlook when it comes to LTI Mindtree. He's asked Kunal's view, but instead I will take your view, Saurabh. What's your take coming in on LTI Mindtree? He already has 100 shares at a price of 4,500 rupees per share. What's your take on this one?
See, overall, we have constructive view for the 2024 for the IT sector. I think you have to keep in mind that the last earnings from the LTI Mindtree was not good, and I think if I am correct, the management also cut down their guidance also. So as a whole, for the 2024, the sector looks good, but I think the numbers will tell will give more insight about how the company's management is thinking over their business. So in that sense, I think better to hold and better to hold as of now and wait for the earnings to come.
Right, moving on, and Kunal, what's your take coming in on EPL? Dasari Radhi from Vijayawada is holding these shares from a price of 198 rupees, and since August 2023, the stock has been consolidating in quite a tight range. Do you believe that it has the potential to give returns?
Well, it doesn't look like that the stock was showing any kind of a breakout potential over the near term. It's been sideways. Bollinger Bands have been very, very range bound for the stock. Even the volumes have dipped down significantly. In such a kind of a scenario, we ideally wait for a breakout, and that breakout level for the stock is about 210.
All right, Kunal, this one is coming from Siddharth, who's a huge fan of yours, and he wants to know your technical view when it comes to CDSL as well as Prestige Estates for the medium term. He's saying last time you had mentioned to hold both of these counters, and from there on the stock has rallied further. So he wants to know whether both of them are still a hold, given the fact that he is holding them for a while and looks like he is in profits.
Yeah, so I think I would still continue to recommend a hold on CDSL as well as Prestige. And, I think we were discussing this point earlier that real estate stocks have been looking attractive. And I would still believe that many of the large cap names and the ones, the performing names rather, have been looking quite strong. Prestige is one of them. The stock has moved up, I think, in the last 8, 9 months, 12 months from 400, 450 levels to now 1200 to 1300 range. So I think it's been a performing stock, and same is the case with CDSL.
All right, Saurabh, the next query is coming in on two IT names. Actually, already discussed about Zensar Tech, but Sarita wants to know any target price that you have for this particular counter, and she also has Birla Soft 1000 shares from a price of 460 rupees. Good to hold both of these names given the IT earnings as well as the sector tailwinds. Do you believe that they have the potential to give her returns maybe in the next 1 year?
The Zensar has already shown, have outperformed the broader market. It has shown, it has gained a lot, I think 15-20% in the last month or so. We expect 20-25% kind of a return from if you remain invested in 2024. Regarding Birla Soft, it's not in our coverage because of the volatility in their earnings. It is quite a smaller company with the patchy earnings. So I won't be able to recommend on that.
All right, on that note, we'll actually slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. When we come back, we'll continue taking your queries as well as have the rapid fire, so don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let's continue taking your query. This one is coming from Satya, and Satya has been writing to us the whole of last week, and we've been unable to take his query. So let me take his query right now. And he's trying to invest in a good potential mid and a small cap pharma company. He already has Cipla and Piramal Pharma in his portfolio. Now he wants to know if any of the below suggestions that he has make sense for him to invest for a good 40% return. Kunal, the companies that he's mentioned is Alembic, Marksons, Shilpa Medicare, Morpen, or anything else?
Tough one. I think I would probably go with maybe another name from the pharma pack, and that could be Biocon at current levels, or maybe Granules. I think those are two better charts compared to the 3 or the 4 names that you mentioned.
All right, Kunal, one more for you. This one is from Shayak, and he wants a take on the real estate counters. Any of the best, any of the stocks that he can still buy at current market price? He has names like Prestige, DLF, Shobha as well as Lodha in mind.
Yeah, I think that should be good enough, because I think, if you're buying the same kind of stocks or adding on to the other stocks just for the pleasure of having to participate into those names, that doesn't make sense. It always makes sense to latch on to the next big sector, because I think you have major stocks which have done reasonably well, likes of DLF, Soba, etc. So I don't believe that you should look to over diversify yourself and get an overexposure in terms of the real estate basket. It's better that you try and move to another sector. Maybe PSU banking stocks like Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda could be better bets.
Kunal, another one your way, and a quick one for sure. This one is coming from Manoj. He's writing to us from Qatar, and he wants to invest a lump sum amount, but only in one stock for the short term. Which one would you recommend?
Tough one. It's a tough one. I would probably go with a larger cap name. If you ask me, then I think HDFC Bank or Bajaj Finance, those could be better bets at current levels.
All right. The next query, Saurabh, that I have is from on Engineers India. Anju is holding 900 shares at a price of 160 rupees. She's sitting at a profit, but is this a counter that she should hold or book out profits?
I think I would rather recommend to book, I think 20-30% partial profit in this stock.
All right, Kunal, this one is coming from Ravi. He's writing to us from Mumbai, and he has 6,000 shares of Federal Bank at 140, 5,000 shares of Equita Small Finance Bank at 102 rupees per share. He's saying that he's sitting with profits right now, but do you think that he should average right now from at these levels for higher targets and higher profits? His period is 3 months.
Not really. I think it's also a good time to try and add on to some other names from the banking kitty, which you may probably be missing out. So as I said earlier, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank could be good bets at current levels. From the private sector banks, you may look to even add HDFC Bank at current levels. Axis Bank has been a bit of a underperformer as such. That's something which you can look out for even at current levels of 1100 plus.
Saurabh, what's your take coming in on Lemon Tree Hotels? Lakshmi is holding 150 shares at a price of 83 rupees. Good to book out profits or continue to hold on?
I think major capex has been done by the company after opening of the biggest hotel in the Mumbai, and now they'll focus on the all the renovation activities in all their properties. Overall, the sector looks good, and the occupancy rate is on the higher side. Average revenue room rent is also moving up. So we have the constructive view on the hotels and Lemon. So I would recommend a hold.
Okay, this one is coming from Dr. Zena Kausar, who's writing to us from Ranchi, and she has exposure, Kunal, in the oil and gas pack, has 150 shares of BPCL at 471, 100 shares of Oil India at 319, and I believe 400 shares of IOC at 90 rupees per share. What sort of a target should she keep in both of the all of these counters for the near term? And is there any other strategy that you would tell her to adopt when it comes to oil and gas space?
I think it's a good space to hold on. I would still believe that there should be decent upside for many of the stocks which you are already holding from a medium to long term play. The only catch with these kind of names is the news flow, which tends to be a bit uncertain on a shorter period of time. But then when you try and look at this from a medium to long term time horizon, those kind of news flows and dips which comes by could actually be good opportunities to add or average further. So if you're a long term investor, I think you should hold on.
All right, Saurabh, what's your take coming in on Vedanta? Atul is holding the shares from a price of 230 rupees, and given the restructuring that we are seeing for the company, do you believe it has the potential to give even more returns from these levels?
I think debt overhang on the group remains one of the major concerns, and that is why it's not in the recommendation list. I think if you want to play on the metal side, Hindalco looks good to me.
Okay, Kunal, this one is Shri from Cochin. He is holding Prestige Estate, 160 shares at a price of 947 rupees per share. Should he hold or book a partial profit at this stage? What's the near-term target? And another one I've got from Yuvraj, who has Shobha, and he has 40% profit in that one. So what should the strategy be for both of these guys who are actually holding realty stocks with a profit?
See, ideally you should hold on to these stocks if you're a long-term investor. But I also understand that there could be many a times when the stocks may give you 40-50% return, and you may want to take out some chips off the table and then look to buy back in case if these stocks go into a marginal bit of correction. So as of now, long-term wise, these stocks look very attractive. I would believe that what we are actually going through is a strong real estate cycle, which could probably last by many years to come by. So from a longer term play, these stocks look attractive. But if you're looking to just try and look to find or maybe trade the tops and then look out to book profits and then buy back again at dips, then I think you can do partial profit booking at current levels.
All right, with this, viewers, let's kickstart taking all your stock-related queries in the rapid-fire session. And the first query is for you, Kunal. Any target on SBI cards for the next 8 to 10 months? This query is from Omkar.
It's a huge underperformer. If the stock breaks out about the 785, 800 mark, we could be looking at 900 potentially as a target.
All right, Venkatesh from Chennai wants to know about Maruti Suzuki. 10,323 is the buy price. Target for the short term, Kunal?
On the upside, 10,350.
Okay, sort of Vikram wants to know at this point in time, can he go ahead and enter Inox Wind?
Won't recommend.
All right, Kunal, this one is coming in from one of our viewer who has Tide Water Oil at 54 shares at a price of 1,800 rupees per share. In loss, should average book out losses? What sort of strategy?
Hold on, look to average closer to 1200 mark.
Okay, Saurav, what's your take on PTC India? RS Mundada wants to know at this point in time, is this a worth buy?
Won't recommend.
Kunal, RK wants to know whether it's good time to invest in IT and power stocks or should he wait for 1 more month to invest for 1.5 years or so?
IT, yes, could be a good time. Power stocks, maybe you can wait for another month.
Okay, Kunal, Srinath wants to know the take on Adani Green. Is this a good buy at current market price?
Yeah, I think it's a very good buy at current levels.
Okay, Mike Earl from Mumbai wants to know about EIH. Is it a good stock to hold on for the longer term or should he go ahead and book profits? What's your take, Saurabh?
Hold on to it.
Okay, Saurabh, Ravi is holding Kalpataru Power from a price of 401 rupees. Good to hold on or book out profits?
Hold for long term.
Alright, Sarojini from Coimbatore wants to know about IKO Lightning 100 shares at a price of 407. What strategy should she use, Saurabh? IKO Lighting?
Not in coverage.
Okay, Kunal, any take on Kaplan Point? Rahul Gupta is holding these shares from a price of 1170 rupees. Good to hold or move out?
Absolutely, very good to hold.
Alright, Nancy wants to know about Titagar Wagon, 50 shares at a price of 47 rupees per share. Should she sell the stock right now and invest somewhere else? What's your take, Saurabh?
Better to exit and invest in banks.
Alright, viewers, with this we come to the end of the rapid fire session as well as onto the Buy Now Sell Now show. Thank you so much, Saurav and Kunal, for joining us today and helping all our viewers resolve their stock related queries. But with this, viewers, it's time to bid you goodbye as well. It's a goodbye from me and Cheryl and the entire team who put this show together. Thanks so much for watching, but don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will take the action ahead.